Hi friends, I'm here with Penny Lane from Penny Lane Tarot, and she's a tarot reader. So we're gonna talk all about that. We're gonna kind of get to know her a little bit more. So obviously, this is a conversation I'm excited to dive into. Thank you for joining us on this fun little adventure we're on.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Tell me a little bit more. How did you get into this?
Mine had bought a set of tarot cards and she was learning to read them. And I'd never seen them before. I didn't know what they were. And she was saying things and I was getting like ideas. I know now they're messages, but at the time I felt like they were ideas. And I'd say, oh, I think, but doesn't it mean this or that? And she was like, no, the book says this, the book says that. And
you hadn't learned about it yet.
I had never seen tarot before in my life. I didn't know anything about them. And so I just went ahead and I started sort of keeping track of what I was seeing when we were playing with her cards in her kitchen. And it just sort of, I bought my own deck and it just kind of came supernaturally to me. Not supernaturally, but naturally.
Pun on words.
Yeah. And so I just I was doing it for friends and it was always just sort of a hobby, and people were like, oh, my friend wants to see you and you should go professional. And it just, as we were talking earlier, the universe sort of pushes you in a direction and you have choices. And I fought that push for a really long time. And then finally other things happened and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. And here it is.
So you fought the urge to go in this direction.
I did.
Well, what did you do before this?
Before this, I was a 9-to-5 administration person. I worked in law offices. I did estate law and will planning and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Then I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, and then I was an entrepreneur for a little while, and just dabbled here and there. And everything I've done, it has like always surrounded like meeting a lot of people, and most of the time a lot of people in some kind of crisis, and they need a little bit of advice or a little hand holding or something to make them, it's going to be okay.
Lead them, guide them.
Yeah. And so I always had this instinct of being able to say just the right thing at just the right moment, and they'd be like, how did you know that? Or and it kind of just sort of evolved into this other thing, and then it's all kind of falling into place. So when I look back, I see how all these little stepping stones and things led me to this place.
Okay, so you can see for your entire life, you've always kind of led people or guided people. Is there something that was instinctual as a kid that you wanted to be when you grew up?
Actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an airline stewardess. Oh, that's
so did my mom.
A hostess, or what do they call them? No, stewardess.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I wanted, but then
flight attendant.
That's the word, flight attendant.
Okay, sure,
yes.
Perfect. We knew what you meant.
That's what I wanted to do, but then my father sent me on a trip out west, and I didn't like landing. I don't like the landing part. So, yeah, so that was out of the picture. And then right out of high school, I just started working, went to night school, and everything just kind of, it was, at the time, it felt like survival. Like I was just doing what I needed to do next for like survival. It's a little dramatic word, but
just to get by.
Right, exactly. Like it was just, I took a job in retail and I didn't like that. So I went to night school to upgrade my skills, and then I ended up at a law firm, and then I upgraded from there, and then, one thing led to another. And yeah, when I look back, I can see how it all led to rounding me out to be better at this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really quite cool. And even with your thoughts of being a flight attendant, really, once again, it's guiding people.
Exactly.
That's very cool.
Yes.
So we've had a little bit of stepping stones, quite a few career paths. How long have you been doing tarot reading?
I've been reading tarot as a hobby for over about 27 years, I think it's been now exactly. But I've been reading professionally, for people for almost a year. It took me a long time to make the leap to it was really a confidence thing, I think. And and then there's a stigma attached to the word tarot, and so people think it's something different than what I do. So it took a while to get it out there.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the stigma? Tell us what you do. Tell us what you feel as though people associate with it.
Well, tarot is a very old divination tool.
Okay.
And so, some biblical people will say that it's against God or whatever, so some people have a very strong feeling of it, being able to see things in the unknown is incorrect or not appropriate. But because it's very old, it also comes from a time when people didn't have, I think there's like a limited language. And so the political correctness of things was different. And so, foreseeing something like someone's death or something tragic like that tends to be very old style tarot, but old, like everything in, people didn't live very long in the very olden days.
Yeah.
So I can show you the original tarot set. This is the Rider-Waite's. These are the ones I use for teaching. That's why they're still looking pristine and brand new. I don't really use these ones, but when you look at these ones, the pictures are a little more
religious?
Yeah, they are a little, they do tend to be.
I don't know if you guys can see these.
I'll show you.
Am I okay?
Oh yeah, fine. Yeah, go right ahead. But they do tend to be, they can be a little bit dark.
Do you know what that one means?
This one only means really that the worst is behind you. So this person has suffered a lot of hardships and difficulties, and maybe somebody has betrayed them, and they've, feel a little stabbed in the back, because literally the guy is stabbed in the back and with 10 swords, so he's probably pretty near death. But what is important here is that the sun is coming up, so there's light is pushing the dark, so the light is pushing the dark out of the way, so the worst is behind and better is coming.
I like that. I'll take that card. I need it.
So, and then there's this card. This one is the one people associate with tarot the most. This is the death card. So people think when this one comes up, oh my gosh, someone's going to die. I'm going to die. Like it's a little startling, and it is, it is a startling card to look at. But this doesn't mean a person is going to die. This means an idea or a situation or a time in your life. Something is dying and setting you free. So as we know, everything is cyclical and is reborn.
Yeah.
So as one door closes, another opens.
I like that too.
So my tarot, these ones, which are even a little bit nicer, these are more cartoonish and sweet. I don't know.
And more palatable.
Yeah, so these ones are a little more friendly and easier to look at if you want to just take a look.
Shall we put one away and go to the
put
next?
these ones away, because these are teaching cards. They're very good for teaching because they're very literal.
Okay.
These ones.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
In these, sorry, I think I put this one the wrong
It doesn't matter.
way. There we go.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
In these, I understand we pulled 2 cards. Both were cards that look like they shouldn't have good meaning. Is there an actual passing away card? Not the idea of like the worst is behind you or anything like that. Is there
There are, the cards are pretty standard. Most tarot cards are based on the original Rider-Waite's, which are like from 1800s, I think.
Oh gosh, okay.
And depending where you do your research, they're either Italian or French. So they've been translated from another language to English, possibly Latin, maybe Italian, maybe French. So the language, when you translate, it gets a little bit literal. There are readers who will read the death card. This is the death card in this deck, who will read that and say, that means someone will pass. So, you have an elderly person who's, going to die, whatever. I don't read my cards that way. It's just the agreement that we made. So for me, when this card comes up, it will tell me that something that's been holding you back or troubling you. So in this card, you can see it's the string that's getting cut.
Got it. Yes.
So this card is a little less literal than the other death card. And this one in the picture is depicted a little better, that it's a situation that's dying, not a person. And then, so one door is closed, one door is opened.
Gotcha.
So this one is one door is closed, one door is open. And so whatever's holding you back or blocking your path is what's dying, what you're cutting.
Got it.
So for me, when the death card comes up, that's generally what it means. But to answer your question, if someone were coming to that part of their life where they're going to pass, my cards would not tell you your grandmother is going to pass or whatever. They would say, oh, your grandmother's not heard from you for a while, or I'm feeling that you're a little, you know, annoyed with yourself because you're not spending enough time.
It alludes to that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you might want to, you know, reach out, just have a quick conversation. It really is about leading you to the best possible outcome for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so what the cards are telling you is that you're going to feel better with this situation if you take action now.
Got it.
So, but if I say to you, you know, oh, you should have a conversation with your grandma, she misses you, that doesn't mean I see that she's going to pass. It means that I see that you're struggling with guilt, or she's not fitting on your list of things to do, and you'll feel better if you just reach out to her and take care of that. So it's hard because I don't think that I do predict someone's death, but I have seen that someone's going through that kind of heavy sadness, and I can help prepare them for that, but I wouldn't necessarily see like the passing of a loved one.
Got it. Know that you're like, if you're open to it, we can do a reading on you.
Sure, if you'd like to see how I operate, then by all means.
Let's see it in action.
So I'm going to walk through a few things. It's not normally how I would necessarily do a reading, but first I'm shuffling to sort of put in, like, just to wake them up and, oh, good morning. Wake them up and let them know we're ready to work.
Okay.
And then I give them a knock. It just sort of clears off any old energy from previous readings. And then I'm going to hand them to you and ask you to put your energy in them. So just give them a shuffle. You don't have to think about anything specific. I'm just going to explain that, one, we sugarcoat everything.
Okay.
So it's not going to be super bad news, nothing scary. I'll ease you into everything. We can go a little bit deep, but I don't tell deep, dark secrets. So if there's something you absolutely don't want us to know, that's not going to come out. But something that you sort of, la, 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 don't tell me, that will come out.
Okay.
But if you like, don't want to know, then I won't be able to tell that.
Got it.
So you control how much information we get.
Okay.
So just give those a shuffle.
I'm the worst shuffler, so I hope this.
It doesn't
sort of
matter. You can
is...
put them down and move them around this way if that makes you feel better. We just need to get your energy into them. That works. There we go. Some tarot readers don't like you to touch their cards at all. Some have specific rules. We're pretty free and easy, and we just do whatever. I actually like
this way of shuffling, so I can like touch them all.
All right, then let's just have you pull 5 cards for me then.
I like want to look.
That's okay. You can look. There are no rules. You are in full control here.
One more.
One more.
Make it a good one. Ooh, you liked that card. I heard that sound effect.
Well, the 4 of them are beginning to it's
create a picture.
It creates a picture. Yes. So, pull one more for me, please.
Why?
Because I start with 5 generally. 5 usually gives me a good idea, but I need more information. So,
why is it like that in depth?
Oh, it's so good.
I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous. I promise. It's totally fine.
Now I've touched that one, but I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. Just take it. Just take it.
Pull another one. Because this is... Okay, so what's happened? Pull another one, and then I'll tell you, because I don't want to influence. Pull another one.
Okay. You're right. I'm being silly.
All right. That's okay. That's perfect. So, this is like you didn't want to know this. This is the la 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 don't tell me card.
Okay. Just tell me first then.
Yeah. So it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm seeing here. So this is just telling me that you have a lot of ideas and things that are germinating in your head.
Yeah.
But you feel like you need to focus on one thing right now.
Yeah.
So that's where your passion is, focusing on this one thing. But then there's all these other things that are totally necessary to
explore,
keep you going. And what this really is telling me is that it's like your passion is in the real estate thing, but there's so many other avenues to how you do real estate. And I'm feeling like, as I am not as traditional a reader as people are maybe used to, you're not as traditional a real estate agent as people are used to. So everything that when people think of real estate agent for you, you don't really fit in that exact mold. And so there's all these, so you see his little backpack?
Yeah.
He's got all these little books and things. So those are all your sort of that's the book learning. That's the stuff that they taught you in real estate school or wherever you go to get your certifications.
Then
And there's all rules and it's necessary because otherwise, there's people will exploit everything. So you need to have guidelines and rules, and you're dealing with people's biggest investments and things. But you have the reason his hand is up with the sword, you have a different idea and a different way of doing it. And rules are good and you'll follow the rules, but they don't have to be so structured. There's a different way of doing things. And so you're sort of,
I break the mold.
Yes, that's exactly right. So you're sort of beating down the path and going sort of a different way. And other real estate agents will probably pick up on your lead and start following you, but you're going to always be the one who charged ahead and broke the mold. So this is just telling me, and probably the reason you didn't want to hear it is because you may not have wanted it to come out in this sort of public setting.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Thank you for the nice hiatus because we've spent quite some time doing this. If you guys are interested in a tarot reading, if you're kind of curious to see what your life has in store, reach out to her. Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Your
It's
effort,
always my pleasure.
and your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for staying tuned and always supporting local. And like, comment, share. Have any questions, reach out to her directly. Thank you.